LeRoya Sanford is magical in so many ways. She started her entertainment career at the Ha Ha Club as a comedian at age 8. She has credits for being the youngest comedian ever in clubs like the Improv and the Laugh Factory. She's appeared on ABC's The View, where she entertained and charmed none other than Whoopi Goldberg. LeRoya turned to magic to provide a sense of hope and wonder and to make her comedy more inspirational. She successfully auditioned for the Junior Magic Society at the Magic Castle, and she attends monthly meetings there. LeRoya is not only a stand-up comedian and magician, she's also a driven mentor, standing up and representing children to provide a voice and to empower them to follow their dreams. Still in her teens, LeRoya's accomplishments to date are astonishing. She's highly intelligent, multi-talented, and motivated to make her mark in entertainment and on the world. Her life message is, remember, every minute spent angry is 60 seconds of wasted happiness. I'm thrilled to speak with LeRoya today to get to know a little bit more about her and her goals for the future. Welcome, LeRoya. I'm so excited that you're here to speak with us today, and I am in awe of what you've accomplished at such a young age. It's incredible. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about how you started in entertainment and then how that segued into your magic?
Sure, of course, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. As you already said, my name is LeRoya Sanford, and I'm 17 years old. I've been in entertainment for about 13 years now, so a long, long time. And I've just been doing comedy, magic, music, and many different things. I actually started in stand-up comedy at the age of 4. And then at 8 years old, I started performing at comedy clubs, actually 21 and over comedy clubs. I would go and knock on the door, bother the bouncers over and over. I'd be, can I tell jokes? And they're like, you're 8 years old. Why are you trying to come into these 21 and over clubs? But eventually, after banging on the door a whole bunch of times, they ended up letting me go perform and leave and perform and leave. And ever since then, I just kept on performing from the West Coast to the East Coast and even some performances in Mexico.
Fabulous. Now, is there an entertainer in your family? Where does this gene come from?
Well, my last name is Sanford, so some people think Sanford and Son, maybe some relation to that, but actually there's the magic. My dad actually used to do magic, and so he always used to like pull coins out of my ear, and that was my favorite one. And it was so surprising because I never wanted to know how it was done. Actually, I wasn't ever one of those kids that was like, do it again. I wanted to believe in the magic so bad that when my dad wanted to teach me and pass on the baton, I was like, no, no, I want to believe that a coin actually can come out of my ear. And so, but I ended up falling in love with it as I got older.
Yeah. Well, you're not that old.
That's true.
Why did you decide to eventually pursue magic? Because you had you were a fabulous stand-up comedian. So what made you want to go towards magic? What was the catalyst for that?
Well, the main reason why I wanted to include magic was because comedy, to be honest, is all about complaining, as you probably know, and fans of comedy know it's about complaining about everything going wrong in life. And the stage is really like therapy to a performer. It's really where we put it all out there. And so comedy was my therapy, but I found that comedy is kind of a little bit negative in some ways. So I really wanted to inspire hope because I'm a female minority comedian, entertainer, magician, and I didn't want people to only see the complaints and the heartache. I also wanted to be able to inspire and add hope, and that's exactly what magic did perfectly.
Well, it's what it did for you. And so believing in magic as a child and then being able to present magic. Now, do you script humor into your routines? Are your routines comical, or do they have more depth, or do you have a variety of routines that you perform?
So my comedy magic routines specifically are usually I try to script the comedy first, and then I learn or find something that goes with it. I usually come up with the story because I feel like a trick without a story is just a trick. And there's anybody could do a trick, anybody could go to a magic shop and just learn something, but it takes a storyteller, a performer, to actually tell a story. So it's so important to me to tell a good story, and that roots right into the comedy of adding those jokes. But also, being a joke teller is a lot off of the audience. There's been times where I go to a performance and I plan this whole thing for like kids, and then most of the audience is adults, and I'm like, oh, and vice versa, and I have to change on the spot and change the whole script so that it flows with that audience.
Right. So, but you are able to adapt, and perhaps your comedy background and listening to an audience and reacting to them, that's very beneficial.
Yeah, because comedy is very working with the audience, and it's a conversation. I feel like performing and great performances are always a conversation, and it's not like the audience is watching you, they're experiencing it with you.
Right. That's a beautiful way to put it. Can you break down for the viewers, just so that we can visualize, give an example of a routine, a magic routine that you present, what you present, and how you briefly how you would, the story that goes with it?
Sure. So actually, one of the, I would say the most challenging ones that I came up with, the hardest one, was this one that I do with a napkin, which is taking it from a circle and turning it into a star. And I do that without a table or anything, just with my hands. And I actually wrote that to poetry, my own poetry that I wrote. And I found some music to also go with it. And it ends with snow coming out everywhere. And that star changes to snow. And it's this big thing. But the story is basically talking about how in life we go through so many struggles and we end up wanting to give up, and we don't see a way out. But actually, if you believe and you realize that there is magic, and there's magic inside of all of us, there is a way to turn those holes in your life into stars.
Oh, it's beautiful. What a beautiful story. I can't wait to see that routine. How did you discover the junior program at the Magic Castle? Did your father know about it, or did somebody recommend it?
So actually, I've performed pretty much everywhere in Los Angeles, and we would always pass by it going to the Hollywood Improv or the Laugh Factory, places like that. And I'd be like, Dad, that's the last place I need to perform. And one day he was like, Roya, you know you need to be a member, right? And I was like, a member? How do I do that? And so he told me about it, and I was like, well, looks like I got to audition. And actually, at first, I really thought that I wouldn't get in, because at the time I was still working on magic, still honing my sets and creating sets around the magic. And there were so many amazing junior magicians that have been doing it ever since, like me with 4 in comedy, they were doing that with magic. And although I've been doing magic for about 5 years, it was still like, am I at that level? And I kind of questioned myself. But when I did audition and they let me in, it was like my biggest accomplishment, because I truly wasn't expecting it.
That's fabulous. Which routine did you do for your audition piece?
I did a routine where I changed my outfit in front of the audience that went along with this comedy set that I created. And that was actually something that I created, one of the only sets I created together. Usually the patter comes first and then the magic. That one I kind of created them both together. And I built that whole prop and everything that went with it, and the whole clothes change. And then I did a prediction of the price, whatever the audience said the price of my jacket was. And that was pretty much it. I think we only got 90 seconds, like America's Got Talent. So it was quick, and there were 30 of us, and only 4 got in.
Wow.
So and they only do the auditions like twice a year. And at the time, I was in my second semester of senior year, so I was like, this is my chance, because if I go off to college, the next auditions are in September. I'm not gonna be here, so I had to get in then.
What has your experience been with the junior program? Do you feel like it's been beneficial? Do you feel like what have you learned?
I've learned so much, just learning from different people, John Armstrong, multiple different magicians who come in, female magicians. Miss Diana Zimmerman is like my main mentor that I got from there. And I'm always talking to her, emailing her about my sets, learning from her and her magic past and everything that she did. And it's just so eloquent. And I also learned from the other junior magicians. And one of the surprising things I did learn is kind of about my own personal biases that I didn't know I had, because when I went in for the audition, I mainly just saw white males, and I was like, they're not gonna let me in. I don't look like them. I don't talk like them. My style is different. Why would they let me in here? And then even when I got in, I was still like, well, how am I going to fit in? And am I going to make friends? Like, and when I got in, all of them embraced me with open arms, and we talk and we just bounce ideas off of each other. And it's such an amazing environment. So they taught me so much about not having those biases that we don't even realize we have.
Right. Right. Well, anytime anything is different and you're out of your comfort zone, it's natural to be a little bit defensive. It's a natural mechanism. So it's a survival mechanism. But I'm so thrilled to hear that you've had a fabulous experience. And can you tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now and what you're developing with them?
Yes, of course. So I've actually been working on about a 20 to 30 minute set on basically, it's kind of combining all of the different magical illusions that I've done, and a storyline about my life, and how money has affected, and not having money, and when I did have money, and how that affected the schools I went to and everything. But it's all kind of in relation to that and the story of that. And so I plan to hopefully, as soon as the Magic Castle opens, start performing it there.
This has just been a fabulous talk, LeRoya. It's really, you're just so quick and clever and positive and just really insightful.
Thank you.
Bringing a lot to the table.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Now don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Come on, you can do it. We need subscribers to obtain more privileges with YouTube. So please hit that notifications bell. Spread the word and comment. We love to hear from you.